3I, Atlas, continues to unveil enigmas we had not foreseen. Observe how a structure that looks like a tail seems to be forming. The reality is, researchers are at a loss to explain the reason. At this exact instant, a body with a mass of 73 trillion pounds is hurtling through our solar system at 124,000 miles per hour. And this is the part that should give you pause. It did not come from here. When researchers examined its light signature, they found extreme negative polarization, a characteristic we have never before seen in any comet in all of history. Now, ponder this. The body's trajectory was aligned to within a mere 5 degrees of Earth's orbital plane, flying exceptionally near to Mars, with a timing so mathematically exact that the probability is lower than 1 in a million. This is not a typical visitor. The body holds substantial mass, and its course mirrors the plane where our planets circle the Sunday. Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb calculates there is a 30 to 40% chance that this is not a completely natural event. But here is where the situation becomes genuinely unsettling. During the last government shutdown, NASA's data feeds went totally silent at the precise moment this object made its closest pass by Mars. The 3I Atlas has broken every rule we thought applied to objects from beyond our solar system. So, we start to ask, what if this object is engineered? What if it has been watching us? Consider this carefully. The most vital question we must answer is if we are witnessing technology or just nature in action. With some fortune, we will gain more clarity in the days ahead. Here is what makes this even more significant. 3I. Atlas came from the exact direction where outside observers could have seen Earth crossing our Sunday. As per Loeb's analysis, any civilization situated within a 10-degree cone of our ecliptic plane could have found our solar system with transit surveys, the same technique we employ to locate exoplanets. They would be aware of exactly where our world orbits and which one supports life. This object's 5-degree alignment puts it right inside that zone of detection. Picture it. If an entity dispatched this probe after seeing Earth, they have been observing our planet for what could be thousands of years, waiting with patience for the ideal time to show up. If enigmas like this fire up your imagination, subscribe now. We are tracking this object as the situation develops in real time. For months, individuals have been posing the same haunting questions about 3I Atlas. The conclusions we are reaching are far more disturbing than anyone anticipated. This interstellar voyager shows 7 recorded anomalies that have scientists scrambling for answers. Unlike the cigar-like Oumuamua or the standard comet Borisov, this object resists every classification we have. Let's start with what is possibly the most troubling discovery: its seemingly impossible mass. At more than 73 trillion pounds, 3I, Atlas has about 6 million times the mass of SpaceX's Starship, our most powerful rocket today. Harvard scientists came to this mass calculation after witnessing something extraordinary. Despite visible gas emissions creating a cloud around it, the object's path is almost unaltered. Usually, when comets expel gas, they are pushed about easily, like a balloon losing air. Not this object. What if its mass is so immense that these strong jets hardly change its course? This alters everything we believed we knew. Now, this is where it gets truly peculiar. Based on our entire understanding of interstellar space density, there just shouldn't be adequate rocky material out there to send a body this huge into our inner solar system. Avi Loeb performed the calculations, and based on the known spread of material drifting among the stars, we ought to have met hundreds of smaller objects before one this massive ever appeared. We have not seen them. As Loeb stated, there is not enough rocky material floating in interstellar space to deliver such a giant rock into our inner solar system over the past decade. So we are left to wonder, what is that telling us? The timing brings up questions that are even more concerning. On October 3rd, 2025, 3I Atlas flew within 18 million miles of Mars, near enough for our rovers and orbiters to take pictures with unparalleled clarity. The Perseverance rover filmed something moving through the Martian sky, a slanting line that didn't align with the typical paths left by stars, but this is what should give you pause. Right as this historic flyby was occurring, multiple NASA websites and data feeds went completely quiet due to the government shutdown. The timing feels incredibly convenient, happening at the exact time scientists globally were desperate for live information. What we did capture before the information blackout is deeply mystifying. The object looks stretched, more like Oumuamua than any standard round comet. It is missing the magnificent tail we would anticipate from something so active. Instead, a diffuse cloud of ionized gas surrounds it, which acts unlike anything in our scientific records. Its chemical composition presents another level of mystery. Researchers found cyanide and carbon monoxide, which are not strange for comets, but they also uncovered signs suggesting the environment around 3I Atlas is more like Mars-like conditions than the usual areas where comets originate. This points to something incredible. The object could have come from a planetary surface, not the frozen void of space where comets are created. Even the object's reaction near the Sun contradicts our expectations. On September 25th, a coronal mass ejection, which is basically a giant solar storm, hit 3I Atlas directly. Scientists expected this torrent of charged particles would drastically alter the comet, maybe even rip it to shreds. Follow-up looks on September 27th and October 2nd showed nothing dramatic at all. No breaking up, no immediate tail formation, just a slow swelling of its outer cloud. It is almost as though this object has more durability than any natural comet should possess. Now, this is what is genuinely keeping scientists up at night. The polarization anomaly. When sunlight bounces off dust grains around comets, it forms a distinct pattern we can measure accurately. Every single comet we have ever examined shows positive polarization at wide viewing angles. 3I. Atlas displays negative polarization at 2.77%, at a phase angle of 6.4 degrees, more severe than any comet in recorded history. This signifies that the dust around it is fundamentally unlike anything found in our solar system. Picture this: the particles could be coarser, more oddly shaped, or made of substances we have never seen before. And then we have the trajectory itself, which provides its own convincing narrative. Unlike random fragments floating through space, 3I Atlas is moving on a course that is almost perfectly in line with our solar system's plane, where all the planets travel. The chance of this happening randomly is 0.00002, or about 1 in 50,000. Now, think about what is next. It went near Mars, will go near Jupiter on March 16th, 2026, and showed up at the exact right time to meet several planets. The total probability of all these coincidences is less than 1 in a million. Consider this from a design viewpoint for a second. If someone wished to explore multiple planets effectively, you would create a path that remains close to the ecliptic plane. You would precisely time your entry to get the most encounters with the highest number of planets. That is precisely what 3I Atlas is doing. This object is set to pass within 33.5 million miles of Jupiter, near enough for in-depth observations if it has any instruments on board. As Loeb highlights, if this trajectory was designed by an alien intelligence, the 5-degree inclination is perfectly logical. It is the best angle for observing transits of main belt asteroids which have an opening, angle of about 10 degrees above and below the ecliptic. But some researchers are putting forth an even more incredible idea. Suzanne Folsner theorizes that bodies like 3I Atlas could actually be planetary seeds. Her models show that massive interstellar objects entering young solar systems could kickstart the whole planet formation cycle. Rather than taking millions of years to build up from dust, planets could form quickly around these pre-made cores. If so, a portion of Jupiter's mass might have come from an ancient interstellar guest long ago. The velocity is another red flag we cannot overlook. Currently zipping at 37 kilometers per second relative to Mars, 3I Atlas will speed up to 42 kilometers per second near the Sunday. That is 150,000 miles per hour, quick enough to go around our entire Earth in just 10 minutes. This velocity isn't out of the ordinary for interstellar objects, but paired with its incredible mass, it carries immense kinetic energy. If this were engineered technology, it would signify capabilities far greater than anything humanity could ever produce. The size calculations keep getting larger as we acquire better data. Early observations indicated something small, maybe a few hundred feet wide. Now, we are considering a nucleus that is about 3 kilometers in diameter. That is 3 kilometers of solid matter, not even including the surrounding gas cloud. To give you perspective, that is bigger than the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs 65 million years ago. Imagine a body the size of a small mountain hurtling through space at speeds that would cross the entire United States in less than 2 minutes. European Space Agency spacecraft are our final hope for clear answers.